Hi, my name is Craig Thompson Wood. I'm the board game teacher. Thanks for coming to my games room. Today I'm continuing on the topic which I'd started for my summer series here on designing your own board games. And today what I want to look at was what are the benefits of designing your own board game. Well, in designing your own board game, there's actually like a lot of great things that come about from it. Whether you're a teacher or whether you're a student or parent or whatever, whoever you are designing your own game, there is just so much good to be had from it that I would recommend that anybody do it if you feel so inclined. The first benefit that I can think of is that it was Stephen Covey in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People that said the best way to learn is to be prepared to teach. And when you are doing a game, particularly if it's an educationally based game, you're going to have to be teaching some sort of topic or subject matter within this game. Even if it doesn't have an educational component, you have to be at some point prepared to teach the game to somebody else so that they can learn to play it with you, unless it's a solo game. But even then, you want other people to play it too. At some point you're going to be teaching somebody something, and in order to do that you have to learn this really well, and you have to practice those skills and whatever you need to do, your communication skills, in order to be able to communicate the rules and how to play this game to another human being. And if there's an educational component in there, as I said, you're going to be learning those really well because you have to know them really well in order to include them in your game. And the second benefit is from somebody who's not quite as famous as Stephen Covey, but getting there, and that's me. What I say is that the best way to learn is to do it with fun. And again, even if you if you have an educational component in your game, fantastic. You're doing some gamification for your class, or you're doing something just for fun. Whatever it is, you're going to be learning some things through that, and it's so much fun to do. And again, when you share with other people, it's fun for them to learn through the play of your game. That is just a fantastic way to learn. So through the creation of the game, you are learning and hopefully having fun doing it. And through the play of the game, other people are having fun and learning while doing it. So it's just win-win all around, which is one of those Covey habits. Come in full circle. The next benefit is that while you are creating a game and doing these kinds of things, you're keeping your brain sharp. So you're keeping your skills sharp. And what I mean by that is that you are, in the summer, particularly if you're not on a balanced calendar like me and you have July and August off, then you have that time off in which you kind of, if you're not doing things to stimulate and keep your brain active, then you can get a bit of what we call that brain drain, where you start to forget some of the things. You're not as practiced as you were with your skills. By playing games, you're going to keep your brain active, but by creating games, I would say you're going to even keep them more active because you're doing so many things involved in the creation of the game that it's going to be keeping it, exercised throughout the whole summer. And I think it's just a wonderful thing. So what kinds of skills are you going to be learning while creating a game? Well, obviously, you're going to have reading and writing, because you're going to be writing down the rules, you're going to be reading things as you prepare for it, or reading rules of other games and doing research. You're going to be doing reading and writing at some point through the creation of your game, guaranteed. And then, looking at what kind of subject-specific things are contained within your game. So are you doing a math game? Are you doing a science game? Are you doing a language-based game? What kind of game are you doing? And that is then, you're going to be learning about that subject area as you get prepared for it in that area. And again, going back to that thing, being best way to learn is to be prepared to teach. Well, as you are preparing to teach people through this game, you are going to have to know so much, and it's just, you're going to learn so much by preparing this. I found myself learned so many computer skills, so many different programs that you wouldn't necessarily think would be used for a computer program, like Comic Life, and I used bit strips and just all kinds of different programs that start to come together to whatever your needs might be for building your particular game. And I'm sure there's a range of programs out there that I still could be using that I just don't even know exist yet. But then again, knowing and learning what kind of game programs are out there is going to benefit me more, because I'll be more familiar with the kinds of programs and technology that are available. And you're definitely going to be doing a lot of critical thinking, a lot of problem solving. because as you are playtesting your game, you're looking through things and you think, well, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. You're going to have to either abandon it, which is hopefully something you don't do, or you're going to have to problem solve and figure out, well, what do I need to do to make this game work, to make it flow better, to make it more fun, or whatever it is that the problem may be. You have to problem solve, and it's just part of the process. You just can't get past that. Really important part of the process. And there may be some art components as well. So whether you are doing your own drawings for it, or your own artwork for it, or like as I mentioned before, maybe creating figurines and stuff for your game out of clay or model magic or something. There could be art involved if you want to take it that direction. And when I started this series, I just started this series first off as a thought in my head, like, hey, this would be a fun thing to do for a video, like, or other people could do as part of a summer holiday activity. And I know, like I said, I've been delving and dabbling and creating my own games for years now, but never really sort of thought of how much work and everything that goes into it. I just thought maybe it was something I could talk about in one episode. Well, as I realized, it is so much more. And I just want to give a huge shout out to mpetty38. I'm going to include links to his blogs in the comment section below, because he reached out to me and was saying that he's been a math teacher for like 14 years and has always created games over the summer. So he was really kind of interested in that I was doing this particular topic for this channel. And in looking through his blogs, where I feel like I'm just discovering fire and he's already, working on nuclear fission when it comes to this whole thing about designing the games and what goes into it in an educational component perspective. His blogs are really well thought out. He's really he's way further on than I was in terms of, formulating and concreting these thoughts into something which is best communicated to other people. So I would highly recommend, if you have any interest at all in creating games for your classroom or for your own personal pleasure, I would go and look at his blogs, because I think they're really informative, really well written, and I just would like to thank him for all the work that he's done in that area. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you have any questions about benefits of board games, or maybe you thought of some benefits that I forgot to mention, please leave me a message in the comment section below. If you have any other ideas for things you might like to see me talk about on the channel, as always, please leave me a message in the comment section below. I do love to hear from the viewers. But until next time, I'm Craig Thompson with the Board Game Teacher saying thanks for coming to the classroom.
Are you coming back to school with